All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? Hamwich, we made it. The last live show of the MLB regular season. 160 games thus far tonight, outside of obviously the Atlanta Braves. We got Saturday, we got Sunday, and it's all 162 games of the regular season. What a grind MLB is. But hey, wait, there's more. There's playoff baseball ahead of us. We got NFL, NHL starting up, NBA starting up shortly, and then guess what? We'll be back in 6 short months for the start of opening day again of the MLB season. It's been an incredible season so far over here at the Nation, but hey, there's lots of money to be made in playoff baseball. There is still some teams that are fighting for some playoff spots tonight. We're going to talk about that. So there is still some money to be made here tonight. We got 12 whopping games. A lot of them have no really implications on the playoffs, so that's always an interesting part we'll talk through here this late in the season, September baseball, obviously. But I'll bring you in, man. Happy Friday. What's going on, brother? How we doing?
Yeah, no, happy Friday. It's been man, it went by fast. At the same time, it was a long grinding season, but I appreciate everyone tuning in. And yeah, I'm really interested in this this White Sox and Tigers game. And unfortunately, we don't get it on the main slate. Obviously the White Sox, one of the worst teams. They pushed Garrett Crochet back a day, though. Old Grady Sizemore said, no, we're not laying down. We're going to roll out the big dog. We don't want Hoop. We don't want G. Rosin over there on those Spencer Torkelson cards. We're going to make them earn it. So I like that the White Sox did that. But, yeah, looking forward to talking tonight's slate. We got a core slate, last one of the year, to talk about on a Friday. We got some good games. Those Braves need to keep on winning. Some of these teams need to keep on winning, I think, especially the Braves, the Tigers, or the Tigers aren't on this, but looking forward to breaking it all down and talking these 12 games.
Yeah, so we'll hit off that off the top here. We got Ben in the chat, Lone Wolf. Expect there not to be a lot of stragglers here. It's the really real grinders here. September 27th, watching MLB live stream videos here. We appreciate everybody. If you guys are watching on playback, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. But yeah, in terms of playoff implications, it goes Atlanta, the Mets, the D-backs, Kansas City Royals, Detroit, and Minnesota. Obviously, Detroit is not on the main slate here, but all the other teams are still on the main slate. Obviously, the Braves do have a doubleheader on Monday. Playoffs do that wild card round starts on Tuesday. The Braves do have a doubleheader on Monday due to that Hurricane Helene. Prayers to everyone out there dealing with the hurricane aftermath down in the South. Prayers to everyone out in Florida. I know Florida got pretty banged up, but there was some pretty bad weather hitting Atlanta as Hurricane Helene made landfall last night. So prayers to everybody out there, but that is due to the reason why the Braves do have a doubleheader on Monday there to make up those 2 games with the Mets, which, hey, both those teams obviously playoff implications on the line. We play both of them are on the slate here tonight as well. So we'll talk through that. But yeah, there is a couple teams still fighting for that. And yeah, you alluded to it, Coors Field. It won't be an MLB show with you and I, Ham, here on this Friday without Coors Field. And not only that, without the Los Angeles Dodgers in Coors Field. And $8K is the price point on Mr. Shohei Ohtani. That's a pretty hefty price point. I don't think I've ever seen a player in MLB DFS as a batter be priced $8K. I mean, I think he's the fourth or probably the fifth or sixth highest priced starting pitcher on this slate tonight. But guess what? He will not be pitching tonight. So that'll be an interesting talking point there. But yeah, excited to break it down. Let me go ahead and add the screen share here. We're going to walk through Shiptimizer while we walk and talk pitching. And then I'll jump over and showcase the Stone when we do talk game by game. But yeah, if you look right here, Mr. Ohtani would be sliding right here in between Singer and Pivetta. But let's go talk pitching. Hamwich, 8K and above. And I mean, there's a couple guys in here. The Mets in a must-win game, right? Sean Manaea at 8,700, I think, is a pretty solid play. Brewers already kind of clinched and locked up their spot. Obviously, they were one of the first teams to do that this year. Max Fried at 9,400. That's an interesting game there because both these teams do need to win, the Braves and the Royals there. Max Fried. Carlos Rodon, the Yankees did lock it up there, but Carlos Rodon, the interesting thing about the Yankees is they have a first-round bye next round of the playoffs, so I don't think they're going to worried about Rodon too much in terms of pitch count. So those are kind of the three guys that I'm looking at up here. I have some interest in Jose Barrios as well against these Miami Marlins, but, I mean, Taj Bradley maybe is a pretty interesting play. Outside of that, I mean, it's kind of those four guys for me up here at the top range, but what are you looking at here, 8K and above for starting pitching here tonight?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was kind of looking at the standings as you were going. Like you said, the Yankees have a first-round bye, but I think the first or second seed is still up for debate. I see that someone put in the chat that there's no Judge in this lineup tonight. My favorite pitcher of the evening is going to be Max Fried for these Braves. I mean, the playoffs have started for the Braves, and the Braves have been in the playoffs for about 2 weeks. They're going to ride their horses. Max is coming off a 24-point DraftKings performance, had a 32-point performance not too long ago. They specifically are pitching him tonight. I think they could have pitched just about anyone, including Chris Sale, because they haven't played in a couple of days, and they chose Max. They obviously want to save Sale. So I like Max Fried tonight, $9,400. Against this Kansas City Royals team, who they're fighting for their playoff lives as well. But Max would be number one for me. Number two for me, you said it, Sean Manaea. Once again, this is another playoff game for the Mets. They got two crucial games on Monday for the Braves, and these games against the Brewers are good as well. And Sean Manaea has had a resurgence, to say the least. He has been absolutely dynamite. I think it's something like 7 straight games at 20-plus DraftKings points. And he's still only $8,700. I think that's a great price point for him. Also, I think Rodon's fine. I don't think they'll push him if they get up. On the flip side, though, if Judge is out, I don't mind Jared Jones. I mean, Jared Jones has tons of strikeout upside. He has been struggling a little bit. I think he's more of a GPP type play if you're going to get down there. Certainly don't mind him. And then lastly, the last person I want to talk about is going to be Jacob deGrom, who has back-to-back, I would say, 12, 13-point performances. Once again in line for somewhere around 60 to 70 pitches. But against this LA team, I think he can get through 4 innings, strike out 6 or 7. If they want to stretch him to the 5th inning, I think he has a good chance of picking up a win too. But that's kind of my top up 4 up in this range.
Yeah, no, we align there. I do like Max Fried quite a bit at 9,400. Really like that matchup there. Must-win game there for the Braves, obviously there with Kansas City in town. So I do like Max Fried quite a bit. I actually like Carlos Rodon as well. Like I said, I just think his pitch count is pretty secure with that first-round bye. And I expect them to have some run support there. I'm not worried about Judge. I expected one of the big boppers to get the day off, whether it was Soto, Stanton, or Judge. Obviously, Judge is getting the day off there tonight, but I still like Rodon. Jose Barrios at 9K, I think, is a good play. I mean, he's got 8 straight quality starts in a row, I believe, and now gets these fish out of the water on Friday night, right? What do you do on Friday night here in Wisconsin? You throw that fish in the frying oil, and you have a nice fish fry. So I don't know. I mean, I assume up there in Toronto they like some nice beer battered walleye up there. Nice, maybe some marlins here tonight. What do you say? A little beer battered marlin tonight. So I don't mind some Jose Barrios. I think he's in line for a quality start for sure, especially, which is good on FanDuel, obviously. But I do think he has strikeout upside and can get us 20 or so DraftKings points here tonight. I like him. Sean Manaea, you alluded to it. I just don't love the strikeout upside for Manaea here tonight. These Brewers, Just don't strike out a ton. But yeah, you alluded to it. Sean Manaea has been lights out. He's in playoff form. They must win game here for the Mets, and they're going to want to roll into Atlanta for that doubleheader on Monday with a leg up. So I do like him quite a bit there. Outside of that, I mean, Taj Bradley is an upside play because if you look at this lineup here for the Red Sox, both sides of this game, obviously we're going to talk about Pivetta here in a second, but this Red Sox confirmed lineup, 26% strikeout rate at home against right-handed pitching. Taj Bradley has always had the upside we've seen. And at 8,300, I like his upside quite a bit. So for me, up here, it's Max Fried, number one. Taj Bradley's probably my second favorite. Then I'm going to go Jose Barrios and then Rodon. Sean Manaea is probably going to be last just because I think Sean Manaea picks up a decent amount of steam, and I just don't like the strikeout upside he has here tonight against these Brewers who, hey, are still going to go out there, still going to steal bases. These kids are young, man. That's one thing about the Brewers is these young kids, Ham, usually like to go balls to the wall, right? Make a statement, make their name. So I really don't think the Brewers are going to take their foot off the gas at all here tonight against Manaea. So that's kind of my rankings up at the top, but I'll throw it over to you. What's your rankings at the top?
Yeah, I would say I was looking at Josh's comment in the chat. I would say I'm going to go Fried 1, Manaea 2, DeGrom 3, and then, number 4 for me would be Rodon. If you wanted to get, crazy, I think Pablo Lopez Pablo Lopez and Jared Jones are good GPP plays. We didn't really touch on Lopez, but I think he has GPP winning upside. But obviously the Orioles offense, pretty good offense. We've been playing a lot this year, but he does have K upside.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown there. I do think there's some guys you can play below 8K. We're going to start with Nick Pivetta. All things considered, he's probably my favorite pitcher on the slate at a salary. Ownership's going to go that way as well. But man, these Rays, I've been picking on these Rays. You and I have been picking on these Rays all season long. We're sticking to the fish fry. I don't know about any deep fried stingray or anything. I don't know what that tastes like, but I think Nick Pivetta will have a nice slice of that here tonight. So I do like Nick Pivetta quite a bit at 7,900. It's not going to be sneaky by any means. I just love the upside. I think pairing both those pitchers, which usually I don't want to pair pitchers together in Fenway, but here tonight, these teams aren't playing for anything. And I think there's no reason these pitchers can't go out there and just go crazy. I think looking at last game, Taj Bradley threw 103 pitches, I think. So they have no problem trotting him out. I think we see similar from Nick Pivetta. So I like him quite a bit. And then outside of that, maybe a Reed Detmer is just upside chasing. He's shown a 30% strikeout rate since he's returned back from the IL. However, he's given up 14 runs in his last 2 games. One of those was against the White Sox where he gave up 7 runs against that terrible offense. He's a boom bust guy, and at 6,800, I don't hate it in tournaments. But if I'm paying that, I'd just rather drop all the way down to Mikolas in that pitcher's ballpark out there against that Giants team, who is just abysmal at the plate. Your favorite word to use there. I'll throw it back over to you. Where are you going down below 8K? Those are the 3 guys I'm kind of looking at. Definitely my favorite is obviously Pivetta, and then my second favorite would be Mikolas, just down at the bottom, just to save the extra salary because I like that pitcher's park out there. I like picking on the Giants team, and Mikolas, I think, can do enough at 5,500.
Yeah, real quick, William, now that you say that, I was looking at Wu. He's been pitching 80-plus pitches, gets to take on this Oakland team in this pitcher's ballpark. Definitely don't hate Wu with that price tag. Good call out there. What's up to our guy, Jake Swells, always in here. Jake, I think you've been in here every Monday and Friday that Nades have been on this show, so we certainly appreciate you being in here as always. But yeah, Nick Pivetta, great spot tonight, 7,900. You said it, ownership's going to flock to him, but we always talk about the sharks in the water, Nades, and there's a ton of sharks in that raised water of that lineup. There's a ton of blood red up and down that lineup, K upside out the wazoo for Mr. Pivetta. So I definitely like Nick Pivetta tonight against that Rays team. Not much else that I like. The one that I will mention as kind of my punt SP2 play of the night would be for $5,500. Miles Mikolas out in the Bay Area. This Giants team, littered with strikeouts. Mikolas is not a great pitcher by any stretch, but I think he can get us 15 DraftKings points, and at 5.5, I think he can pay that off. So I don't mind Mikolas going up against the Giants tonight. Will kind of be where I would go if I was needed a cheap SP2 tonight. But yeah, it's Pivetta for me. Maybe some Mikolas, and then those top tier guys for sure.
Yeah, so we're definitely in line at the bottom half. I mean, Mikolas is $2,500 cheaper than the most expensive hitter on the slate, and he's going to have a very, very good chance, a much higher chance at more than zero, in my opinion, than some of the hitters on this slate. So I don't hate that. It's 67 degrees out there in San Fran, going to be low 60s by the end of that. Obviously, a great pitcher's ballpark there, and the San Fran team is just pretty much given up. I mean, 28% strikeout rate by this lineup overall by right-handed pitching. I think that definitely boosts Mikolas' strikeout upside a little bit. And at 5,500, he's my favorite SP2 on this entire slate. Think we talked enough on pitching. Overall, pretty condensed for me. I just want to really rely on the guys that are going to get the leash, or the guys that are playing for something, right? The Max Frieds of the world, the Sean Manais of the world, the Pavettas. I just think Pavetta's pretty locked in, and Bradley. Though I really like those two quite a bit. And then Max Fried at the top is kind of my favorite arm by far, all the way up there. Let's jump in. I shared the stone here for the people. Is the stone up now, Ham? Can you see it?
Yep. Yeah, we see it.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to jump in. We're going to go game by game now and talk hitting like we obviously do. We've done these shows all season long. We're at game 160 on the year. Like I said, appreciate everybody tuning in throughout the course of the season here. It's been a great year over at the Nation, looking to keep it rolling into playoff baseball, into NHL, which NHL will be back here on the 7th, I believe, October 7th. So a couple days away from that, I'll be heading that content up over here. NBA shortly around the corner, then obviously NFL in full swing here. But let's talk about it. The Yankees don't have nothing to play for. They're set in stone. They got the bye over there in the AL. But I do think they're still going to go out and attack Jared Jones here. I don't mind some of these guys here, but, man, it's just this lineup without Judge, without Stanton, two guys that I really had a ton of interest in. I mean, Jason Dominguez, I think is solid at 3,900. Jazz is all the way up at 3. Usually he's hitting 6th or 7th in this lineup. We talk about that quite a bit, right, where you bump those guys up. But I don't hate a Yankee stack here tonight, but again, they're just not playing for anything. And then on the other side, really no Pirates interest for me against Rodon. I mean, look at this, just blood red. You talk about blood red. I think Rodon's in an excellent spot here because I think he's got a pretty good leash, like I said, with that first round bye. So no Pirates interest for me. Yankees, I think, are a solid stack, but don't really love this lineup they rolled out. It is much cheaper to stack up, however.
Yeah, no Judge. No Stanton, like you alluded to. That's why I like Jared Jones a little bit. Those are two bats, right? Judge is hit 55, 60 homers, something in that range. That's 80 home runs, give or take, out of the lineup tonight. Jared Jones does have some strikeout upside. As you see there, almost 27% on the road this season. Won't be playing the Yankees. Yeah, I'm with you. No Pirates. I actually like both pitchers in this game, Nades.
Yeah, I will tell you, Jared Jones struggles with power righties. And, I mean, looking at this lineup, Trevino, Volpe, Gleyber Torres, I mean, are you really scared of those guys for power? I mean, they lost their two best power right-handed hitters in Judge and Stanton. So I don't hate that. Wardo, good point. Yankees are playing to keep the 1 seed. Cleveland is right there. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I'm pretty sure they already got the bye baked, locked in from what I was seeing, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I thought they already had it sealed up in terms of the number 1 seed to get that bye, but
the number 1 and number 2 get a bye, and they've clinched first or second.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they really care if they're the 1 or the 2. I mean, they still get the bye, so. I mean, maybe just so they don't have to play, maybe for matchups wise. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the Yankees are still going to go out there and play baseball at the end of the day. They're still at home here against a guy that struggles with right-handed power. It's kind of interesting to see they rolled out all these lefties. I'll throw it back over to you while we talk the next game while I pull up Jared Jones splits against lefties. But Yeah, I'm interested in the Yankee stack. No Pirates interest for me. But the Yankees did move down my stack list after looking at this lineup for sure. Let's jump to the next game, though. The Marlins here, Toronto, Barrios on the hill. I like Barrios quite a bit with his upside against this Marlins roster. And then these Blue Jays, man, looking at Aller's been absolutely atrocious against left-handed hitters for sure, walking about a little over 17%, giving up a lot of power to lefties too. And these Blue Jays got some cheap lefties in here. Horwitz, Nathan Lukes. I like Jonathan Clace. Those are kind of the three lefties there. And then you can add in the Springers, the Vlad Guerreros of the world, the Alejandro Kirks. I think Blue Jays are a pretty interesting sneaky stack here. I don't think they get a ton of ownership. And I really like the mini stack there at Lukes and Horwitz, but I'll throw it over to you.
Yeah, no fish for me. No Marlins for sure. And then the Jays, I could see a little mini J stack. This team's just so tough to stack. We haven't done it all season long, but Aller is not any good. It's going to be more minis for me, Nades, if I were to get to some of these Jays, and no Marlins.
Yeah, so good breakdown. I do have more interest in the Jays, but I like them more as a mini stack personally than a full 5-man here. Going back to the last game, looking at your boy Jared Jones' splits, I mean, over the last month, 19% strikeout rate to the left side of the plate, a 270 ISO given up to lefties, and a 35% fly ball rate. So, hey, I mean, Yankees loaded their lineup with lefties. They obviously saw those numbers there. Jared Jones' strikeout numbers are heavily influenced by his right-handed. I mean, he strikes out almost 29% of right-handed hitters. Very low walk rate. Still gets some power there and some fly balls, but he's much worse against lefties over the last month. So, I go back on my word. I do like these Yankees more after looking at it. I mean, Juan Soto, Chisholm, Dominguez, I really like at 3,900. Your boy Verdugo's in the 5 spot. I hate Verdugo, but that's a good batting order. And then Trent Grisham has a lot of power at 2,500. I like these lefties, actually, now looking at it and looking at the numbers for the Yankees. So going back on my word there, and thanks to the chat too. They did say thanks for correcting me there. I thought they had it locked up there, but yeah, that was obviously the AL East there. So they're still playing that.
What's going to happen is you're going to get like 2 runners on, then your 5th batter is going to come up. That's a guaranteed out. I mean, that's just like there's nothing worse than a rally killer than Mr. Alex Verdugo. He's $2,800. Oh man, Nades, come on, don't play the Yankees. Don't play Alex Verdugo. Man, that guy's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm playing the Yankees. I'm going to tell you that right now. They're in the slate plan. They got a pretty good number next to their name in the slate plan. And looking at the numbers, I knew he gave up a lot of power to righties, but looking at the last month, it's actually significantly more to the left side. Josh, there he is. There you go. Yeah, Josh. I mean, hey, maybe me and Josh are lockstep, arm in arm here against Old Ham, but I still don't know if I can click Mr. Alex Verdugo's name. I haven't played him all season, I don't think. Outside of that, when you shit on him right when he was back in this lineup and he was on fire at like what $2,200 for a while there, and then the price bumped him and he jumped off a cliff with his stats. So yeah.
You love playing Gary Sanchez and Alex Verdugo like nobody I've ever seen.
Gary Sanchez, yes. Alex Verdugo, no. But yeah, think that hits on the first 2 games there. Jump in the next game here. Cleveland and the Astros. Blanco on the hill. Cantillo on the hill. I mean, Kyle Manzardo, Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor. Those 3 look pretty decent to me. But another game that I'm not getting to for full stacks on either side. Not really interested in it too much. If I were to pick a side, it'd be the Cleveland side. But again, it's a pretty solid real-life pitcher that you're stacking up against. Pretty much just J-Ram for me, Josh Naylor or Manzardo as one-offs or mini stacks there. Manzardo at 2,400 if he's in the lineup. That's a very nice value price point there on him. But what's your take here?
Yeah, I'm not going to be stacking this game. I mean, I like the Astros a little bit because I don't think Cantillo's very good. The problem is that Penn is so good, and they're playing for that 1 seed if they want it. They've clinched a bye as well. Like you said, I mean, potato, doesn't matter who you really play. Maybe it does, but you're eventually going to beat that other team anyway. So no full stacks here for me. My pick off of Kyle Tucker, one off if he's batting second. Manzardo's looking good in our stuff too. It'd be one-offs for me only.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think the 1 or the 2 seed really matter, to be honest. Like I said, you still got to, I mean, it's still only one team that comes out of the AL East. I mean, or the AL in general, right? It's not, I mean, yeah, what do they want to get to the division series, right? The last round, right? To get to the series. Yeah, but you're still not happy if you make it there and lose. So, I mean, what's the difference if you lose the round before? I mean, I don't think it matters a ton, but I mean, who knows? I'm not inside those doors, inside that locker room, so we really don't know. But yeah, I mean, another game I'm really not interested from full stacks. I much prefer the Yankees in a full stack compared to any of these other 6 teams that we talked about so far. More of the same here in this next game. We talked about both these pitchers. I like Bradley. I like Pivetta quite a bit. No Red Sox for me. No Tampa Bay Rays for me, despite Fenway here. Another game that I'm crossing off from hitting wise.
Yeah, I mean, look at that strikeout percentage for Pivetta at home this year. That's pretty remarkable. So really like Pivetta. Don't hate Taj Bradley. You know, you said he threw 106 pitches last time. I went and looked. He's thrown 90 plus in 4 straight games. He's pretty good. And, you know, obviously Devers is done for the season. So I don't hate Bradley yet. No bats in this game either for me, Nades.
Yeah, I mean, it's in temperatures in the 62 in Fenway, some slight wind blowing in. So it's not the greatest hitting conditions either, despite the ballpark. So, yeah, I like it's a little different. Usually we like hitting in Fenway. I like pitching here tonight. So we'll see how that rolls out. But let's jump to the next game, a game that does matter. Both these teams are playing for playoff implications here. The Atlanta Braves, Max Fried on the hill. Brady Singer on the hill, 2 good real-life arms. We had a lot of interest in Max Fried together against this Royals team, but still Salvador Perez, Bobby Witt, Tommy Pham, who's been rejuvenated since joining this Royals team and smashing home runs left and right. I mean, he's batting leadoff at 3,700. The Royals are cheap. They're going up against a great arm, and you make a good point, right? The Braves could have probably rolled out any of these starting pitchers here tonight. They went with Max Fried, maybe in a spot to, hey, get him back right. Going into the playoffs, they're going to need to rely on him pretty heavily there. But or maybe they're setting up for that Mets series, that Mets doubleheader on Monday. But nonetheless, Braves must-win game. Royals are not also in the same spot. I like the Braves here from an offensive standpoint. But, again, not a spot I'm getting to for a stack. I just don't want to stack against Brady Singer. And I'm definitely not stacking against Max Fried here. It would just be Michael Harris, Matt Olson, the 2 lefties for me is one-offs against Singer. But outside of that, really not interested here in this game.
Yeah, my guy Wardo always in the chat in our Discord, man. They're not putting up 10. Oh, look, he's got a Knicks hat on. Come on, Wardo. Don't be a homer. Don't be a homer. You're putting up 10 runs. They may put up 2 against Jared Jones getting that Knicks hat. But in any event, yeah, this Royals team, they haven't clinched a playoff spot. They got I think their magic number is 1, so they either have to win 1 or have the Twins and the Mariners lose 1. But they're going to be playing all out as well. Max Fried, if you look, his barrel, 2% barrel at home, pretty good number. You can see bright green over there. Definitely like Max Fried. You won't be getting any of these Royals bats. If you wanted to play a Bobby Witt one-off, certainly wouldn't be the worst play. I do like these Braves bats tonight. I think the Braves roll, especially in this one against Singer. I think they can get some runs up on Singer tonight. I think the Braves win this one going away.
All right. Hamwich is on the Braves. I mean, you can't. I don't fault you for the Braves, but I mean, I just take the Yankees over the Braves here tonight. I'm just going to say it right now. I'll take the Yankees hitters here tonight at home versus the Braves against Jared Jones. So we're coming around full circle, Ham here. Ham versus Nades to round up the year. It won't be nothing else without a little friendly rivalry here on the screen. So I'll take the Yankees against your Jared Jones, and I'll take the Braves to get outscored by the Yankees here tonight, personally. But let's jump to the next game here. The Twins in a great game here that they need to win as well, and they're going against Povich here, who is horrible. Twins are my favorite stack of the night behind the Dodgers. Obviously, everybody's favorite stack, Dodgers in Coors Field, right? It's pretty no-brainer there for me. But the Twins is probably my second favorite spot on the slate here. When you consider salary on these Twins, much better than the Dodgers. I mean, Ohtani's $8K, Mookie Betts is $6,800. I mean, look at the top half of that Dodgers lineup, you got to take out a second mortgage on your house to afford that lineup. But I do like these Twins quite a bit. Implied to score right around 5 runs here. Going up against Cade Povich here. I like all these Twins. You do deal with some pinch hit concerns here with guys like Kyle Farmer for sure, Manuel Margot. Those are probably the 2 main guys that are going to have pinch hit concerns once they knock Povich out of this lineup here, or out of this game here. But talk to me. Any Twins interest for you against Povich in a must-win game here for Minnesota? And then you talked about Lopez a little bit, so you're probably off the Orioles here, like myself. But what's your interest in hitters here?
Yeah, let's start with the Twins. I do like the Twins. They had a bad loss last night against against those Fish. For all intents and purposes, in my opinion, kind of ended their playoff hopes. They got to win the next 3 and have the Tigers lose the next 3. But I do like them tonight, and so it's interesting. If you're going to play the Otanis of the world, the Betts of the world, you're going to have to play some of those guys down there at the bottom. Kyle Farmer's a good price. Margot, 2,600 batting leadoff. Vasquez fills a catcher position. So I kind of like some of those lower half guys, if you will, for the Twins tonight. They will get pitch hit for ultimately, but I think they could do some damage early. If I was playing the Twins with the Dodgers, it would be those back half guys is who I'd be playing.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown. I like the 1 through 9 for the Twins. Like I said, I'd be worried to play Margot and Kyle Farmer together, because I do think as soon as a lefty comes out of this game, right, Povich is knocked out of this game and they bring a righty out of that pen, those guys are going to get pinch hit. They're usually only in there to target left-handed hitting. Obviously, you see their numbers against left-handed pitching, Obviously, you see their numbers against lefties over the course of the season. They're pretty good, right? Low strikeouts. They both got power against left-handed pitching, and then that drops off significantly when a righty comes in there. So look for the pinch hit, because they're going to do the best they can to win this game and rebound after a ugly loss last night, right? The Twins have been slipping the last few games, and I think they try to right the ship here tonight. I could see 8 to 10 runs here out of this Minnesota team as a revenge factor here. Jumping to the next game, and it's the probably the most important game in terms of ownership, in terms of hitting. But you look at these salaries, man. The cheapest guy in this lineup is Kiki Hernandez at $4K. We're used to paying, what, $2,400, $3K for Kiki Hernandez. He's up to $4K. Miguel Rojas, who's been, what, $2,300, mid 2000s, is up to $4,200. Ohtani's at $8K, probably the highest priced hitter I've ever seen in MLB DFS. But, man, he's stealing bases. He's hitting home runs. Now he gets Coors Field. Now he gets Cal Quantrill on the hill. Gets the best hitting park, best hitting weather on the slate against the worst pitching staff on the slate. Man, it's crazy. Can you play the Dodgers? Are you going to play the Dodgers? It's very hard to full stack them. How are you going to play them? And how are you going to get different when you are playing them? And then any Rockies on the other side, which I don't think pick up a ton of ownership. Tony Gonsolin making his, first start of the season, I believe here. What's your interest here? It's going to be more of a bullpen game for the Dodgers, but any interest in the Rocky side? And then talk to me in terms of how you're going to approach the Dodgers here.
Yeah, it's tough to play those Rockies. I mean, you can just look up and down that lineup and just see they're just not very good at home. Sad to see my guy Charlie Blackmon hanging it up. I think it was 14 years all with the Rockies. That was pretty cool. His parents threw out the first pitch yesterday. He hit a bomb, so sad to see him go. But yeah, I don't think any Rockies for me. Dodgers pin's pretty good, and then Ohtani. I mean, we have Ohtani projected for almost 2.5 points more than the next guy, which is Mookie. As you can see there from 13, what's come up a little bit, but man, it's going to be tough to play Ohtani. I mean, 8,000. I don't even think we saw Acuna there last year. Nades, did we? I don't think so, but 8,000 is a lot. That's more than Pavetta. I mean, Pavetta's going to outscore Ohtani, I would think, in my opinion. But man, I just hate playing. Interested in your take. I hate playing the Dodgers because they pinch hit, and all those guys are going to get pitch hit for at some point. I think you need to have a couple, but where do you go? I mean, can you pay $8K for a batter, which is unheard of? I don't know. It's going to be tough, Nades.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great spot, but man, these prices make it hard. And then looking at this ownership, I mean, 30% projected ownership for an $8,000 hitter that has a higher chance to get 0 than he does to get 15. I mean, obviously it's Ohtani. It's one of the best players we've ever seen, all things considered. I think he will be the best baseball player all said and done in the history of the game, or at least one of them. I mean, for me, it's mini stacks only for the Dodgers. I much prefer the Twins as a full stack, especially at this ownership. I mean, 115% projected combined ownership for this Dodgers team. And then, yeah, I mean, Kiki Hernandez is going to get pinch hit for. Gavin Lux, Rojas. I mean, these guys down at the bottom, I think, are definitely going to get pinch hit for sure at some point. But, yeah, I mean, hey, you go back to Chuck Nasty here in one of his last games of his career. I don't hate it, but at 4.9, I mean, all these guys are super expensive. I'm off Coors Field here tonight. I'm going to say it right now. I just don't think Coors win the slate, and we're in September 27th, Ham, and I mean, maybe some people got some extra NFL money in their pockets after last night, right? Thursday Night Football, what a game that was last night. I mean, Year of the Kickers is back, right? Maybe they got some extra cheese after Greg Joseph just was automatic from 97 yards and in last night and just scored all the points. Maybe they're going to come right here and say, oh, Coors Field, Dodgers are on the slate. I'm just going to go in and blindly plug in Coors Field. So for me, I'm going to be underweight on this game in general. I like other spots more. And, yeah, if it beats me, it beats me is kind of how I'm approaching it.
What was it? What, 8 people had Joseph in the captain last night? Got paid off, what, $80K? Hey, good for them. I needed one more Wandell. Hoping I tied for 14th, which was hurtful. Needed one more catch from Wandell, but whatever.
I had that same team right there too with Wandale captain instead of Greg Joseph freaking captain, and I just knew it. I mean, I knew it. As soon as Greg Joseph gets trotted out there and just freaking splits the upright in their first score, I was like, okay, everybody played Brandon Aubrey 45%, and hey, he still scored double digits. Nobody played Greg Joseph on the other end, because why couldn't the game script flipped, right? Why couldn't the Giants offense stall led by Daniel Jones? Why couldn't they stall and just kick field goals all night, which obviously happened. But yeah, enough of that. All things to say that it seems like we're both under on Coors Field here tonight. Let's jump to the next game. Mets and the Brewers. Frankie Montas on the hill. Sean Manaea, 2 solid pitchers here. Montas at 7K, I don't think is the craziest play, but the Mets need to win games here. Heading into that doubleheader on Monday against Atlanta. I think the Mets are okay plays, but man, it's not a game that I'm getting too much interest in from stacking perspectives. One of the lower totals on the slate as well. Another game that I'm kind of crossing off here tonight outside of Sean Manaea for the most part.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Yeah, definitely no Brewers. I don't think any Mets. I mean, Montas is good enough. I mean, he has 30 upside that I think he got 2 or 3 starts ago. He also has negative upside that he got last time out. So it's up and down. It would be one-off, Lindor if he's in there, and then no Brewers. I do like your take. These dudes are young. They still bags. They're really good, but they're not for me tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could play the Brewers. It's not even a homer take. I think you could just play the Brewers any slate. Like I said, I mean, outside of like a Willie Adames or like a Gary Sanchez or something, I mean, for the most part, or William Contreras, right? For the most part, Churrio's super young, obviously Perkins, Frelick, Ortiz, Bryce Terang. I mean, these guys are going to go out there and just play the game at the end of the day, right? They still got to keep their form going into to October here. So that's another thing too. And I think you see it more from the young guys versus the kind of the veteran guys that kind of get in the rhythm and kind of are used to it, right? That's obviously why you probably saw Stanton and Judge just get the night off here tonight. I mean, I think that's a little bit different, but still not a spot I'm getting to stack up bats here from the Mets or the Brewers. Personally, next game on the slate, DeGrom on the hill, Reed Detmers on the hill. Detmers, you never know what you're getting. He could come out there and strike out 10, or he could come out there and give up 14 runs in two games like he did his last 2 starts, one of those against the White Sox, obviously there. But he has displayed massive strikeout upside since returning. Also struggles with home runs and control issues. Rangers, sneaky stack maybe in this park that has been shown to give up home runs this season here. And then DeGrom, is going up against the blood red lineup here. So no Angels for me personally. I just don't think DeGrom gets pushed here. And at 8,400, I just think Pivetta and some other guys in that range definitely have way more upside. I mean, if DeGrom was going to get 6 innings for sure, he'd probably be my favorite pitcher on the slate. I mean, they really have nothing to play for. DeGrom's coming off, obviously, that injury. I just don't see how he throws more than 60 pitches here tonight in this spot. But if he were, I would love him. Just no Angels interest for me really against him at all, to be honest.
Yeah, no Angels. Marcus Semien one-off. I don't hate batting leadoff up there. Does pretty good against lefties on the road, as you can see. And yeah, I just ran our optimal, and it has DeGrom in the optimal, which doesn't mean anything other than he projects pretty well. We obviously think he's going to have a good night. I'll have some DeGrom and definitely no Angels. Blood red up and down that K percentage, so not very good.
But I'm seeing DeGrom at what? 26, 27% ownership projected. If that's right, I mean, I just don't think he goes more than 60 pitches here. Could he strike out 6, 7 guys in 60 pitches? I think. But, I mean, you could see a spot where last time we both played him, he got us, 12 and got pulled after, the third inning? I could see him get pulled here after the third inning again. He's got to be super, super efficient. And at 8,400 with that ownership, I think this is a good spot to sell on DeGrom, to be honest here tonight, for sure. But a couple games left to talk about. Next game I do have interest in on one side here. It's the Padres. It's the D-backs. D-backs in a spot that, hey, they're in that hunt. I like the D-backs here. I think they're going up against a good bullpen. Martin Perez is going to start this game, it looks like, for the Padres here. I don't think he's great. I think they can jump on him. Padres do have a good bullpen behind him. That overall degrades the stack a little bit. But, man, these D-backs, power and speed, they were everybody was playing the D-backs, last week, the week before that. The D-backs were absolutely red hot. I'm going right back to the well here with the D-backs. I like the D-backs a ton. I put the D-backs over the Braves here tonight as well at similar price points. I just like this Arizona team in this spot much more than I do the Braves. So another team I'm putting ahead of the Braves here tonight. Give me some Arizona here at home against Martin Perez and this bullpen.
Yeah, no, with you there. Must-win game for the Diamondbacks. They're fighting for their playoff lives with the Mets, with the Braves. Padres, in essence, have nothing to play for. They can't win the division. They're going to finish somewhere between 4th and 6th. Martin Perez, in my opinion, is not a very good pitcher. Diamondbacks team does not strike out at home versus lefties for the most part. So give me some of these Diamondbacks to put the ball in play. And then no Padres for me. I don't know what you said about the Padres bats, but I won't be playing any Padres bats tonight. They're just tough to stack, in my opinion. Very rarely get the job done, it seems like.
I mean, Jackson Merrill, you can play him anytime, right? I think he's fine. Luis Arias just always puts the bat on the baseball. Whether it gets through the infield or not is another story. But at 3,700, you could always, if you land on him at first base, I think he's fine. Jackson Merrill would be my favorite guy on the Padres if I were to go there. But, my interest is definitely on the D-back side. Really like Christian Walker, Lourdes Gurriel, Eugenio Suarez. I really like those three a ton. Josh Bell I like a lot. Obviously, Ketel Marte's on a tear right now as of late. I like the D-backs a ton here tonight for sure. 2 games left to talk about here. Oakland, right? They said goodbye to the Coliseum last night. They took the home plate right off the field too. I saw right after that game there. They sold out the stadium, right? Because Oakland is not going to be back at the Coliseum here. They're headed out to Seattle to face this Mariner squad. A battle of 2 shitters here in a battle of, let's see who can suck less. From a hitting perspective, maybe Brent Rooker, Butler, Soderstrom, Shea Langeliers. But, another game that I'm not looking to play on September 27th in the basically the best pitcher's ballpark over the last 3 seasons, metrics wise. So spot where I'm crossing off for bats, another one here.
Yeah, just to confirm though, Woo's on the bump tonight. This is showing Castillo, or did he get replaced with Castillo? Do you know?
I can look, but yeah, I saw that too. I think it was supposed to be Castillo, and then Wu got announced. But let me pull it up while you break it down.
Okay, I mean, regardless, I said someone had put in the chat about Wu. I did have a little bit of interest in Wu, but even if it was Castillo, I would like either one. I think it is Wu, but just let's double check. So no Athletics bats for me tonight. Mariners, similar story to the Twins. Their season pretty much is over. Have to win all three. Have one of those other teams lose all three. I mean, it can happen, right? It's the beauty of sports. But so they got a must-win game. I like their pitchers. No bats for me. It'd be more one-off with the likes of Cal Riley's had a pretty good season. J-Rod, not too bad. Arozarena. So either a mini or one-off for the Mariners. No Athletics bats for me.
Yeah, so Wood
was just to see that closing that stadium down. But good for them to sell it out one final time. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see that everybody gathered around. And, hey, Oakland's been a fun team to watch in spans over the course of this season. And I did see that Wu did replace Castillo. A little interesting nugget about Brian Wu here. He's hit his under K-prop at 6.5 70% of the time here tonight. So it's probably a pretty good bet to bet the under. I think his K-prop was 6.5. He's hit the under 6.5 strikeouts 70% so far this season. So hey, just another little nugget there if you were looking to play some Brian Wu. But not a spot I'm getting to for pretty much anyone in this game. Last game on the slate, more of the same. Not going to play this ballpark. Definitely not going to play either of these teams in this ballpark. Mikolas is the only guy I have interest in from this game here.
Yeah, with you there, quick and easy. I don't think we've said yes to stacking in Giants Stadium all season long. Not going to start with these two terrible teams. Don't mind Mikolas. I'm not playing the Giants pitcher, but don't like any of these Cardinals bats.
Yeah, we're in lockstep there. Ham, last live show of the year for us. Like I said, we appreciate all the interaction over the course of the season. It's the true grinders in this point of the season in the YouTube chat. So we appreciate everybody hanging out here. Any words for the people over the course of the season? Otherwise, throw it into your home run call of the evening.
Yeah, no, just appreciate everybody tuning in. It's been fun. Looking forward to it next year. Hopefully Nades and I are back. But Nades, I got to ask you, man, off topic, we rooting for Aaron Jones on Sunday. We're rooting for the Pack. What are we doing? I sent you that thing in the Players Tribune, which was cool to see. But man, I didn't. Aaron Jones, pretty cool dude. It seems like who we got on Sunday.
Yeah, well, I'm always going to cheer for my Pack, but man, I won't be mad to see, as long as the Pack win the game, to see Aaron Jones find the end zone and do another Lambeau leap, even if it's in purple and yellow. I've seen a bunch of things. I mean, he's been nothing but a blessing to us here in Green Bay. I saw he spoke highly. He said it's gonna be bittersweet. He's probably gonna tear up a little bit to be back in that stadium, not with a G on his helmet. So I mean, just a stand-up dude. He's helped us a ton. But I mean, I think we're in a pretty good spot having Jacobs on our side. Jordan Love's probably going to play here tonight or this weekend as well, which should be fun. Two great defenses, two of the best defenses over the course of the year we've seen so far. I think Minnesota's defense is due for some regression. Personally, I think the Packers' defense is sustainable just based on that talent alone. I mean, we basically have Georgia's entire defense starting for us on our team, and then we obviously get McKinney in the offseason. Jair's been a complete stud, right? So I think one side's going to regress a little bit. I think the Packers defense is truly real deal. I mean, outside of that game in Brazil, right, where nobody had any footing, it's pretty hard to rank anyone. I mean, because every other game, this defense leads the league in turnovers, everything, all the metrics when they're actually playing on a field where the cleats work. But should be pretty bittersweet there. But yeah, I echo more of what Ham said. Appreciate everybody tuning in all season long. Without you guys, we don't do these shows. We keep all of our shows free. Obviously, we have the paid stuff behind the paywall over at SHIPIT Nation with the slate plans, the core plays, projections, the stone, like you see here on the screen, everything. But we love getting on here, and if there wasn't anybody watching, there'd be no reason for us to jump on here and do these shows, and that goes for all sports. So we love everyone and all the interaction in the YouTube chat, even if it's trolling here, trolling there. It's all in good fun. But Ham, let's round it out with some home run calls before we get on out of here. And just another plug on DraftKings. There is a single stat home run contest. I think it's like $1, 3 max, and $1,000 for first. Usually it's a split, but you just pick 3 guys, they hit home runs, and obviously you get 1 point for a home run, 0 points for no home runs. And I mean, $3 to chance to win $1,000. Usually that's a pretty little fun sweat instead of if you don't live in a sport like or in a state you can sports bet like myself in Wisconsin here. It's a fun little way to still get some action on some home run calls. But throw it over to you. Who's your home run call of the evening?
Yeah, for my last one, I'm going to go and honor my guy Tambo, north of the border. Give me some Vlad. I like Vlad to go yard tonight. Should be batting third. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is my call of the day.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I'm going out to a team that is due and needs to win here. It's the D-backs. It's the Snake. I talked about it already. I'm going to Lourdes Gurriel Jr., 4,300. Projected bat 5th here tonight. I think he takes Martin Perez deep. D-backs, I really like those D-backs a lot here. And then a bonus one for the people, going to one of my favorite stacks here. I put the D-backs ahead of the Braves. I'm putting this team ahead of the Braves as well. I'm going to the Yankees. I'm going to young phenom Jason Dominguez, taking Jared Jones deep here tonight in Yankee Stadium. That's going to do it for this edition of the Witching Hour, brought to you by SHIPIT Nation. Again, appreciate everyone tuning in all season long. Our content's up on the website. Ham will be back, I think, maybe with a quick hit. We'll have quick hits going for the first round of the playoffs. I think they do 4-game slates on DraftKings that do start. Usually they run, right, it's pretty much an all-day slate because the first games usually start around noon, 1 o'clock, and then they obviously spread out the 4 games through over the course of the day. We'll have content for the entire playoff slate plan, core plays, projections, the stone, as you see here on the screen. Ham will be covering some quick hits, and the rest of the crew will be covering some quick hits. But last live show for MLB season. It's been bittersweet, man. It's been a great year. Ham, any closing remarks before we get out of here?
Nope, no closing remarks. Yeah, see you in the playoffs. We're just done for the regular season. All the shows will still be free. The quick hits will still be free come playoff time. I think BJ and G Rosin may do one if they can, but if not, it'll be quick hits. But yeah, let's get it tonight. One more night on the week, and then we got Saturday and Sunday to get it as well.
Yeah. Game 160. We're on game 160, 161, and 162 Saturday and Sunday. We got you covered for those. But good luck tonight. Hope to see those SHIPIT Nation logos at the top. For Hamwich, I'm Nadesify. We'll catch you guys next time. Let's ship it.